Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. I'm here with Coco and I'm just sitting in the edge of a compost bin. So it's a good day today. It's early spring here in Australia. They are forecasting a few days of heavy rain soon. Thought it was a good chance to empty out some compost bins that have been working for 2 or 3 years probably. They've been scenes of many worm tests. I've also dumped all sorts of stuff in these: cotton sheets, hessian bags, padding from mattresses, lots of coffee grounds, and Coco's having a bit of a wrestle here with me. So I'll show you what is the result after a couple of years, and also show you the one at home I'm emptying as well, and then we can set up for some new worm tests. Okay, she's in a silly mood again. She always seems to do this when I film because I think the attention's no longer on her. So I've nearly finished digging this one out. I've done a video very early on my channel on making these compost bins, and they're lasting really well, just out of cheap pellet timber. And you can see I've constructed them so that the whole front panel comes out. In fact, all the panels unscrew, and they've lasted for, this one's about 3 years old, and you can see the bottom timber rails are starting to show a bit of rot. I think the worms probably eat the timber a little bit. It's look out. It's still quite solid though. I think it's going to last a few more years. I'm not going to put my foot through it. It's good. So what we've got left in this bay here is, I've just been digging it out. I've let it dry it out, and I haven't fed it or watered it for probably a month or so, and it's all dried out. The worms have all left. They've all gone back into the soil, the native ground. And then I've just been sort of slicing it up with a spade because it actually goes fairly lumpy. Well, not really lumpy, but it goes quite hard when it dries out. And you get a lot of tree roots come in. Now there's some trees just at the back of this bin, and because the fibrous roots of the trees recognise that there's really good nutrients here, they work their way up through the compost. So I'm just sort of slicing it up with a spade, and then I can shovel it into buckets, and I'll show you what I've got out so far. The roots don't really matter. Hang on, we'll go and have another look at the stuff I've got out first. Here's a big barrow full, and I've filled a few buckets as well. I'll be taking this home. You see it's just beautiful friable soil now. It's nice and black, and all these little fibrous roots, as I've sliced up with the shovel, they'll just be incorporated as good organic material into wherever I put this. Ideally, probably if you wanted a nice mix of like fine soil for potting mixes or something, you could probably run it through a trommel, just to take all the lumps and the bigger bits of roots and that sort of stuff out. But look, I think it's going to be incorporated into our garden beautifully like it is. So I'll continue to shovel this one out, and we'll put all these in buckets and take them home, and I'll show you the one at home as well. So that's finished emptying this bin. I've scraped it all out. It's nice and neat. I'm going to tip in just some of the fibrous roots that I pulled out of the buckets that were a bit too much. And this is the rest of the stuff I scraped off the top before I started digging it out. There's a bit of old hessian, a bit of shredded paper that's hanging around the sides of the bin, and just other random bits of stuff that was on top. Because I let it dry out, the worms disappeared and they didn't continue eating. So this will make the base for the next one. So we'll spread that round. You can see there's also a couple of remains of cotton sheets. I think that's a bit of a towel. It's been pretty well eaten, but it will certainly be absorbed now. And on the bottom layer, the worms will come straight back into this. So what I'm going to do is I'll spread this out, put a little bit of shredded paper over the top, and I've got some hessian bags here to put over the top. We'll keep it damp, the worms will move back in, and it'll be a perfect site for some future worm tests I've got planned. And here's all the buckets now. I've emptied the wheelbarrow. These are all ready to take home. Obviously in your garden you won't have to transport them, but our garden's at home and I do a lot of these worm tests at the shop. But it's such beautiful soil. You can see when the lumps are broken up, it's just magnificent. And plenty of organic matter. There are a few remnant pieces of plastic. Now these are from some cardboard that I shredded, and the worms have eaten all the cardboard and there's only little bits of plastic left, so we'll dispose of those properly. But this is ready to take home, and I'll put it in one of our bays at the back of our garden where Christine can access it for potting mixes or topping up her veggie gardens or whatever she deems suitable. Watch out, I'll run you over. So there's 2 full wheelbarrows in this bay. We have these bays at the back of our yard at home. That one's just some sandy loam mixed with mushroom compost, which I think is pretty well rotted down now. That's been the bulk of our garden fill, but we're adding lots of the compost as well. You can see how rich and dark it is. Doesn't it smell nice, Coco? Absolutely fabulous soil with lots of organic matter. So that's from the compost bin at the shop. But over here, we've had a compost bin going at home. Same design again. I've just taken the panel off and I've shoveled some of this out because we actually filled up an old bath over there and Christine's planted zucchini in that. So a lot of compost went into there, but this is the same deal. It's been here for about 2 years. This bin has been filled up time and time again right to the top with everything from grass clippings to shredded paper. A lot of shredded cardboard in the early days when we put our new kitchen in. There was lots of cardboard boxes. I shredded them all. Some coffee grounds have come home and it's just had lots of worms through it. But same as the one at the shop, I've let it dry out now and I've just been digging it through. There's not as many, it's actually gone quite hard. There's not as many tree roots in this one. We've only got a bit of a wild bush growing up here that I have to cut out. But certainly fabulous for the garden. So once I empty this bin out, I'm actually going to pull the panels apart and I'll take this one back to the shop. We don't need this at home now. The amount of lawn we have to mow has been reduced quite a bit from our gardening expansion and everything else, the deck and everything. And what we do generate house-wise as far as compost goes, I've picked up these 2 Dalek style compost bins in house lots recently. So they'll be suitable for our needs here. So this bin will come back to the shop and I'll probably set it up somewhere in the yard there, just specially to handle all the shredded paper and coffee grounds and anything else I generate at the shop. Another place for worm tests. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.